Hello ladies and gentlemen, MarauderEX here with first impressions video of Valkyria Chronicles 4. The demo just hit a little bit ago and I've spent a little while playing it, getting a feel for it, so I kind of wanted to give my thoughts and opinions on it because it is a strategy RPG, and that's kind of the backbone of my channel, kind of unofficially, so yeah, I wanted to talk about it. Especially since, I've Let's Played the first game, and, I'm really excited about this one. So I've been playing the Switch version, so a lot of my impressions are going to be based off of that. I have seen some comparison between the Switch and PS4, and I will talk about that as well. So first and foremost, this is Valkyria Chronicles at its core. It feels very much like Valkyria Chronicles 1, especially the HD remake, just with a brand new story. That's both really good and bad. But it's really good because it's sticking to the Valkyria Chronicles core gameplay instead of trying to shift into something like Valkyria Revolution, which did not do well and was very different. But at the same time, I don't feel like there's a lot new added to this. There is one new class, but I was also kind of expecting some more from it. Being the fourth title in the series, granted, we only got Valkyria Chronicles 1 and 2 here in the US. The fourth in the series, you would figure that there'd be a little bit more addition, like there would be something else to it. And I'm not seeing that in the demo, so I'm wondering if that's going to be something that's in the full game, but it doesn't look like it. Things that I was expecting, I was kind of hoping for the class upgrade system from Valkyria Chronicles 2, where you could take a scout and have the tree of evolution between them, where you could have very much like the abilities in Seiken Densetsu 3, the class up for that. You have the light path and the dark path, and then the light path and the light dark path, or the dark path, or the dark light path, which were all very different. So you had a total of 4 potential end classes for one class. That was present in Valkyria Chronicles and doesn't seem present here. I was a little bummed by that. There is some customization for the characters in which you have things that you can equip to them, in addition to the weapon and armor that you get from the standard R&D that basically go to the entire class. You can also get things to equip to that character that modify their stats that are in limited supply. For example, I got an A rank on the tutorial battle and it gave me a unique type of bullet. And so I equipped that bullet to someone, and that gave them an accuracy and damage increase. But I only had one, so only one character gets it. One other thing that I noticed that was a little disappointing was the characters themselves are given a rank. So you have mostly characters that are private, and then you've got some sergeants, and then the lieutenant. And as such, the characters seem to have stats that represent that class and that rank as well. The sergeants had more HP or more accuracy or more damage. They had better stats, whereas all of the other characters seemed kind of inconsequential. And I know that's kind of a side effect of a strategy RPG like that. The story characters are going to be slightly better. It's just a little disappointing that I was kind of hoping for a little bit more, I guess, uniformity. It didn't feel as pronounced as it in Valkyria Chronicles 1. Valkyria Chronicles 1, yes, you used a lot of the story characters, mostly because of their leader characteristics that gave them AP bonuses. But here, you're still using the same leader characters, and then everyone else just seems to be filler. And that's a little strange to me. I was kind of expecting different. But again, that kind of fits Valkyria Chronicles 1, where everyone else is just kind of there. It's all the story people that are important. So I guess there's not too much deviation there, and it still kind of sticks to its core. So that can both be good and bad. As far as the presentation goes, again, Valkyria Chronicles at its core, the canvas art system, the canvas art style is still there. It still looks very good. I, again, was playing on the Switch version. I have noticed that the graphics are a little different between Switch and PS4, both running at 30 FPS, but the darker colors on the PS4 are a little more pronounced. So the darker lines seem more crisp or sharper on the PS4 than on the Switch. They seem a little more muted. But as far as the other graphics, textures, everything like that, it all seems fairly comparable. So not anything to shake a stick at, honestly. I did play mostly in handheld mode, which, again, looked and played really well. And for people who are a little disappointed at 30 FPS locked on all consoles, that seems to be kind of the standard. I've doesn't really need 60 FPS, and I've seen stories that when the PC port of Valkyria Chronicles 1 was released, that increasing the frame rate to 60 FPS caused some animation issues that displeased Sega. So I'm wondering if that was just done to avoid that, or rather than building the entire engine based off of 60 FPS to start with. I don't know. That seems a little technical for me to be able to piece together. The soundtrack is amazing. The story seems pretty standard fare. Main character, leader of the battalion, kind of unsure of himself, but, willing to lead the people, fighting for what he believes in, etc., etc. So still very much within the core of Valkyria Chronicles. So, all in all, it's a really good game from what I've seen. I really think it is going to be Valkyria Chronicles again, for good or bad. I mean, I know Valkyria Chronicles was originally kind of a sleeper hit, and then it, for whatever reason, kind of exploded into popularity later, which is why 2 and 3 kind of shifted to the PSP because it was cheaper to develop for, and that instead of going for a full console release like this is a bit more of an undertaking. But I'm glad to see it return to consoles. I'm glad to see it return to full form. Not that I didn't enjoy Valkyria Chronicles 2. I loved playing it. I've spent a great deal of time on it. And in fact, again, I'm kind of disappointed that some of the mechanics from that game aren't present in this game, at least yet. I haven't seen them yet. I'm still holding out that might be the case, that I would like to see a little bit more customization, maybe even just increasing characters' rank, promote them from private to something else so that, their stats increase. I would like something other than just the equipable accessories to distinguish characters other than story and faceless protagonist. That's really the only thing that I would hope for, and that's really my only nitpick of the entire demo so far. The story seems engaging. It's just as over the top and gorgeous and emotionally gripping as the first game. It's an interesting fantasy World War II take on this world. It's impressive. Though I am wondering how many more times that they're going to be able to tell the story of the Second Europan War and still keep everything kind of fresh in the Valkyria Chronicles universe. So, I don't know. Maybe they'll have to start doing something else other than the Alliance versus the Empire. Because there's only so many times the Alliance can beat the Empire, and the underdogs of the Alliance is destroying the militaristic might of the Imperial war machine. That's it. But as far as I can say, this is worth picking up. I'm really excited to get it on release. I will say the Switch demo is a 4.4 gig download because it will carry over to the full game. Your save data from the demo will carry over should you choose to. So it is a fairly large download, so do keep that in mind if you want to download the demo and space is a factor. So that's really the only other nitpick, is that's a very large amount of space for the demo. Especially for me, I'm going to be aiming for the physical release of it, so the download not quite as important, but it's still kind of needed to try out the demo. But that is the minorest, smallest, insignificantest of nitpicks that I could ever make. So I'm not even going to classify that as one, because that's It's silly. But I really recommend this game. If you like strategy RPGs, if you like third-person cover-based combat games, this even kind of fills that niche because it's got all of the core Valkyria Chronicles mechanics. So, yeah, I really, really suggest picking it up. It's going to be interesting, and I really can't wait for its release. I believe it comes out October, I think. I'll have to check the release date. I'll probably put it in the video description to get the specific release date. But yeah, check it out. I mean, it's also got a dog wearing an awesome hat. I can't say no to that. I mean, I've been on the internet way too long. I can't say no to that. All right, so yes, I hope you've enjoyed my brief first impressions. Like I said, it's got some things that I wish it had a little bit more of, but at the same time, I love Valkyria Chronicles, and this doesn't really stray too far from Valkyria Chronicles, for good or bad. But I mean, it's got all of the same gameplay elements that I really enjoyed about the other entries in the series, without going into weird Valkyria Revolution territory. So, I can't really say anything bad about that. So, yeah. Check it out. Let me know your thoughts, and I really cannot wait for the full release. So, yeah. Till then, later, everyone.